Welcome back, everybody. What a pleasure it is to actually have our person of the week here in the studio with you. I want to introduce you to Barbara Hanvey and her husband, Mike, who nominated Barbara. Thank you for the two of you for coming in.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. This really is a treat to have you in here. Mike, your story that you and Barbara have is heartbreaking, but something positive is coming out of this. Mike, tell us why you nominated your wife, Barbara, and how that came about.
Well, I saw it on TV that you were doing the person of the week, and I thought, you know, Barbara, when we lost our son for the first year, she couldn't even talk about it without breaking down. And I told her at that time, I said, you know, if you put these things into words and write it down, I said, it'll help you with your grieving. And I said, if you get enough stuff to put it into a book, that it will be able to help others as well that are going through the same things.
Well, I'll ask this to the both of you, because what we're talking about is your son Spencer here, who you lost to a fentanyl overdose, died in an airport in Las Vegas, Nevada. Barbara, the grieving process, I can't even imagine what you went through when you get the news that your son has passed away. How do you even begin to process this? Because Spencer had been going through issues for, you said, since he was 14 years old?
Yes, that's when it all began. And to process it, you just, there's a lot of prayer that went into it, of course. And then I have a wonderful family and friend base. And the first year or two, I just basically stayed in bed and just tried to survive. And then I eventually just started writing, you know, things I didn't want to forget. A lot of the things that I didn't want to forget his voice, the things that we talked about, because he was the type of son that would sit down and talk. You know, we'd talk for hours. And so just started writing these things down, and wanted to keep them in a journal. And then through encouragement of course, my husband and others, this could be a book. This could definitely turn into.
And it is a book, and we wanted to absolutely share before we're done how people can get a hold of the book. But you know, one of the things, Mike, that I'm really moved by is that you all really didn't even know what fentanyl really was. And we're talking about, what year is this now? So
he passed in 2018.
2008, but even before that, you're aware of this. And he tried to get some help,
right? And
did well for a while, right? Tell me, pick up the story from there. So,
well, you know, like I say, he struggled with, I guess you'd call it depression. You know, he was the type of guy that everybody enjoyed being around, and you know, he was a great athlete, and even though, you know, he was kind of like, I'm not going to say the center of attention, but he liked attention. And then, but at the same time, behind the scenes, he felt like he didn't fit in. So he was struggling with some depression, anxiety, that kind of thing. And a lot of people don't understand that. I feel like a lot of addiction is connected to that type of thing, you know, trying to fill a void in their life.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And you think, as parents, this isn't going to happen to my son, right? Tell me, you had to come to some realization, because you did get help for him. Tell me how that evolved.
Well, we searched, and he had a series of incidents that were close calls that brought him into a lot of scary situations. And eventually, we just knew that he wasn't going to survive. It came to the point as he was doing. So therefore, we started searching for a place that was not necessarily in the area, so he could be away from
the influences.
Something that was faith-based, because everybody needed, you know, you have to have insurance, the right insurance, or else they want money up front for help. And we just called and out of state, surrounding areas, and we were fortunate to find John 3:16 Ministries. And what they had is they taught life skills, which when you're involved in addiction, you remain young in your mind. You don't develop the skills you need to survive, your finances and things that you should be learning.
Right.
You kind of stay stuck. And then they taught him that. They taught him how to get out and work and to function.
And did you feel at some point that, man, maybe he's putting this behind him? Or
Yes.
that happened a couple of times maybe?
Yes, it happened more than one time. Yeah, because there was instances where we felt he was doing great. Yeah, and there was almost like two different personalities in a way, and then something else would happen. But yeah, we thought many times he's looking good. He's just his eyes are bright.
Maybe.
Yes, yes.
Right.
So we had hope for sure.
Well, through this unspeakable tragedy, you sat down and started writing, and it turned into this book here. And I know that folks who read the book or hear about your story as you share your story say, you're telling our story.
Yes.
Right? Very much so.
And this is all too familiar to way too many people, isn't it?
That's the sad part, is there's way too many people that's familiar with exactly what's going on or has been in our lives. So,
And so many people have reached out and said, this is exactly what we went through. How did you know? Or, like I say, it's a book that tells, like I say, the good, and then you'll be in a fine situation for a while, and then the bottom will drop out, because that's what drugs does. It brings chaos into your life. So it tells it all.
Without question. But I thank you to the both. I know Mikey nominated Barbara, and so deserving of our person of the week. But thank you to the both of you for having the courage and the thoughtfulness to share your story with everyone. So maybe this will prevent somebody from going down this road or intervening before it's too late. And in a great way to honor Spencer's legacy.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. And congratulations for being the person of the week. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Appreciate
very much.
it.
Thank you.
Barbara. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coming back on Good Morning Arkansas right after this. Don't go away.